I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy.
And I'm Michael.
And this behind us is Carnival Adventure, and she might look familiar.
It's because she is. We've cruised on her many times before, most recently as P&O's Pacific Adventure.
Same ship, new name, new operator. We're here to find out what's changed. Is this an improvement for the cruising public, or is it really just a money-making exercise or saving exercise for Carnival Corporation? So let's go find out. Remember, when it's time to plan your next cruise, head to my website first where you can search, compare and book. P&O Australia dissolved in early March, and Carnival Cruise Line quickly took control of its two ships, Adventure and Encounter. They've been operating as Carnival ships for almost 4 weeks, and it's time to put them to the test. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy has made no bones about the fact that P&O's absorption into Carnival is ultimately about saving money.
But now, since this is a Carnival ship, I'm expecting to see much more included in my fare.
P&O Australia was well known for its cheap and cheerful approach to cruising, but most recently the cruise line seemed to emulate the low-cost airline business model, with a substantial range of extra onboard charges. And although most mainstream cruise lines have pushed towards this model in some way, the big players, including Carnival, continue to at least offer access to fare-included food outside of main mealtimes, something that P&O Australia hadn't provided for years. Now that this is a Carnival ship, we'll see how that pans out, but for now let's check out the cabin.
Nothing has really changed.
It's basically identical to the last time that we sailed in a room like this, and we've booked a Byron Beach Club suite, and I'll tell you more about what that means soon, but basically from where we sit, everything looks the way it was.
They've updated a few things. Carnival luggage mats, towels, paperwork, but we already know based on other cruises, we're going to be missing out on a few things.
We booked this cruise knowing that the changeover to Carnival was going to happen, but at that time, the information provided confirmed that the Byron Beach Club experience would remain intact. The reality is a little different.
There's no Byron Beach thongs, no welcome on board champagne, no fruit basket, no breakfast menu, and no snack basket either.
And if you would like some milk for your in-room Nespresso machine, it's a $3.50 call to room service. Technically speaking, continental breakfast options are available for Byron Beach Club guests, but that's a far cry from the hot breakfast of before. It also looks like Carnival is trying to tick the box when it comes to the fruit basket and snacks by providing this tray on day one of the cruise. Australians have always felt like they're at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to cruising, and I really see that here. Paying for a product or service that isn't delivered in full as it was advertised is a fail for the consumer, and something that we personally weren't happy with. Let's see how the rest of the experience stacks up. One of the more premium spaces remaining from the days of P&O is the Byron Beach Club. This actually debuted on Adventure and Encounter in 2022, and it survived the Carnival takeover.
And I still really like it up here. There's nice lounges, private pool, and you can escape the chaos from the main pool deck.
The Byron Beach Club comprises mostly of this outdoor venue. It has its own bar, pool, and hot tubs. These ships actually have 4 pool areas and multiple hot tub spaces. There's the adults-only Oasis, an indoor pool with a retractable roof, a midship outdoor pool with movie screen, and the Byron Beach Club pool. Frankly speaking, paying extra for a beach club experience should mean that adults can enjoy a calm and relaxing swim, and that just isn't possible with the current setup. With 2 other main pools already open for all ages, I believe the Byron Beach Club pool could and should become an adults-only space. Still, the vibe is very chill, with deck games and some light background music. There are also cabanas that can be rented for an extra $200 for the day. I really enjoyed the names of the cabanas, a throwback to P&O's old ships. When it comes to food up in the club, Carnival has expanded on P&O's offering by adding the room service menu to the options available from the poolside Luke's Burger Bar and the pizzeria. None of this is included, it all costs extra, but it is brought right to you. It's just that over the last 2 cruises, we've had issues with the last step in the process. It's not uncommon for us to have waited for an hour after ordering and for the food to arrive cold. This time, one of the meals was forgotten and had to be remade, drawing the process out even further. Thankfully, the food is still good. A hot dog or burger and chips combo is worth around $15. Whole margarita, vegetarian or pepperoni pizzas are also available here for $6. Every day, Byron Beach Club cruisers can head to the starboard entrance of Angelo's Italian on Deck 6 for an exclusive breakfast service. Reservations are not needed. Where the regular breakfast menu includes paid options such as Eggs Benedict, the Byron version has no extra cost items. In one change from my previous cruise in February, the avocado toast option is still available on the regular menu for $12, but is no longer available to be ordered by Byron Beach guests. To say that P&O Australia's approach to food was divisive would be an understatement, but one thing that was pretty much universally accepted is that the extra charge venues were quite good, and that seems to have continued for the most part. While Luke's Burger Bar and the poolside pizzeria have remained basically as is, the trattoria on Deck 7 has seen a significant change. It now offers pizza by the slice at no cost between 11 AM and 4 PM daily, but that offer only extends to margarita, pepperoni, and vegetarian options. Gluten-free pizzas can be made on request at no charge during this time, and even vegan cheese was also available for those avoiding dairy. Ultimately, this seems like a band-aid approach to the fact that none of the standard Carnival Cruise Line eateries have been introduced to either Adventure or Encounter, but is that good enough? Luke's Bar and Grill remains the specialty dining option of choice. In a change from the days of P&O, reservations can now be made online ahead of your cruise. It costs $40 per person, which you can think of as a deposit, as you'll actually receive $50 to spend on board from the a la carte menu. That menu was altered slightly just before Carnival's takeover, with split king prawns replacing the tempura prawns of the past and the addition of several pasta options to the menu. Overall, the service here is better than you'll find elsewhere on board, and the food is still really good. Disappointingly, in February we celebrated a friend's birthday at Luke's and were offered a complimentary dessert with a candle, and the servers led a restaurant-wide happy birthday song. In fact, that night in February there were 2 other birthday celebrations, all with the same attention. Unfortunately, Carnival's version excludes any complimentary birthday dessert. Instead, we were directed to cherry on top on Deck 5 to organize a cake if we wanted one. This is not actually about the dessert or lack thereof, but the old experience used to be emblematic of the service level and attention to detail that P&O provided for its guests, and I have to say this time the difference was stark. Elsewhere, there's a chef's table experience at a cost of $167 per person, but we didn't try it during our cruise. For main dining, there are 3 restaurants, each leftover from the days of P&O and therefore unique in the Carnival fleet. There's the Waterfront, Angelo's, and Dragon Lady. The Waterfront is open for breakfast and dinner daily with a lunch service offered on sea days. Angelo's is open for dinner every night, plus opens for breakfast service with a private section for Byron Beach Club guests, as I mentioned earlier. Dragon Lady is open every night for dinner and offers an extra charge Yum Cha lunch service. The ship doesn't offer anytime dining. Instead, it relies on an early and late sitting dining schedule. After booking or during check-in, travelers can choose their preferred seating time, and Carnival will automatically allocate a restaurant on a rotational basis. We went with what was automatically allocated, but spoke with others on board who were able to change their schedule once they were on the ship. You'll only find out what your schedule is once on board. The pantry is a food court style buffet, with themed counters offering a variety of items throughout breakfast, lunch, and dinner service daily. This is another relic of the P&O era, and you'll find Mexican food, curries, pasta, roasted meats, fish and chips, and Asian specialties. There's also a range of self-serve salads and sandwiches, although the offering is super limited and pared back compared to other mainstream cruise lines. It screams budget, not Carnival. Once the pantry closes at 9 PM, there's nowhere to indulge in a snack or small meal without having to pay extra. So the good thing about this 4-day cruise is that we've had an opportunity to try each of the restaurants again since they transitioned from P&O to Carnival. The first night we went to Dragon Lady, which is Michael's favorite.
No, not at all. It's my least favorite restaurant on board. There was definitely an improvement from when it was P&O. A slight improvement. Now, everyone has their own tastes and all, but I can't recommend Dragon Lady if I'm going to be honest.
I don't think it's as terrible as what he says. I think it depends on what you order, and I will agree that it definitely has changed since the days of P&O. I mean, slightly. We went to Dragon Lady on the maiden cruise for Pacific Adventure, and it was borderline inedible at that time. This meal that we had wasn't terrible. I was quite happy with what I ordered, but I could see that the other meals, and I did taste them, were not exactly amazing.
Yeah, there was an improvement. There was actually some sort of flavour this time, I think. But yeah, I will never eat at Dragon Lady again, personally. That's just my opinion.
Night 2, we went to the waterfront, and it's as though we've been progressively getting better with each restaurant, so it's sort of funny. And I actually enjoyed my meal at the waterfront. I had the green curry chicken, which was some sort of crew favorite option, and it was really tasty. I enjoyed it a lot. Very good flavor.
That was actually quite nice. I had a piece of that. Very tasty. I got the beef and mushroom pie, pot pie. The flavor was nice. Just a little watery in the consistency inside it. It wasn't gravy-like, so... But overall, I was happy.
Completely fine as a meal. Nothing really major to complain about there. And then last night we went to Angelo's Italian. And again, it was probably better than the other two. We've always liked Angelo's. In fact, we had one of the best meals ever at Angelo's. Best sort of included meals ever at Angelo's in 2023, I think, on Pacific Adventure, this ship. It was excellent. It was so good. It really rivaled specialty dining at that time. Does it do that now? No.
I got the porchetta. Is that pronounced right? Is this going to be a Caribbean?
No, porchetta is correct.
Porchetta, I got it right. And it was nice. Came out really hot, piping hot actually. Flavor, the flavor was nice. The veggies were nice. The mash was nice. I didn't leave going, I want food from somewhere.
It was fine.
Anything. Though the dessert I didn't like. The same dessert that was on P&O, the tiramisu.
Well, that dessert actually did change. We just went there in February, and the dessert has changed. There have been cuts across the board, which is so funny to say, because now that this is under Carnival's control, if anything, I have an expectation that things should get better, that there should be less in terms of price gouging for asking for things for people to pay money. On Angelo's dining room menu, there is an option, a paid dessert option, $6 for a fruit plate. Explain that to me. How could we possibly be charged $6 for a fruit plate? It makes no sense, and I'm actually quite unhappy about that aspect.
Yeah, even some of the additional costs of, like, you're charging me if I want chicken in a salad, you're charging me $4 or $6. Give me the chicken. Like...
I think whether it's right or wrong, people are now used to paying extra for certain things. Like if you do want to surf and turf, or if you want to add,
that's fine.
Lobster to a meal. There are certain things that are upcharge worthy, but I have to say that on this ship, with the Carnival branding, I find it unacceptable that if I want to order a pasta dish in Angelo's or wherever it was, and I think it was Angelo's, that I have to pay $4 to $5 to $6 for a protein addition to that pasta. I'm sorry. I think that we could get away with that when it was P&O Australia. And allegedly, they had a $9 per person budget to spend per day on each passenger. I could kind of understand that, but this is no longer P&O. P&O is dead. This is not... The excuse runs thin. Like, we cannot keep using this excuse anymore.
I sort of feel like if you're trying to be consistent across the board of all your Carnival ships, let's keep it consistent.
It's also worth noting that P&O's old drinks packages are no longer available, particularly important for those who enjoyed the mocktails and specialty coffees of the old non-alcoholic package. On board, bubble tea is still available. We saw them at the lobby bar on deck 5 and the Magrodome bar by the family pool on deck 14. There was also a variety of mocktail options available across the ship. And for those who've asked, you'll find Coke on board as opposed to Pepsi. Elsewhere on Adventure, there are touches of Carnival here and there, new carpets in the casino, cherry on top candy shop on deck 5, and the piano bar 88.
As a stylist and merchandiser, I'm really happy that Carnival has left this ship how P&O gave it to them.
Why don't you like what Luminosa or Splendor look like?
Absolutely not. Not. You all think it, and I'm saying it.
Carnival's Hub app now governs everyone's onboard experience, and there are a couple of key differences. Passengers can now check in for breakfast and lunch using the app, meaning you can request a table without actually heading to the restaurant. Once it's ready, you'll receive an alert and can then walk over. You'll also see an estimated wait time. Even though Carnival did away with dining room menus on the earliest cruises after the changeover, these have made a comeback and menus were provided at all mealtimes. You can easily connect bookings with others in your group so you can manage dining requests and reservations for whoever is traveling together. You can see what's happening around the ship at a glance and add your favorites to be alerted later on when they're starting. All of this I found was a big improvement over P&O Australia's app. Except the ability to message each other using the ship's Wi-Fi now costs $8 per person to unlock for the whole cruise. It was free on P&O. Entertainment-wise, Carnival's now installed its own theme nights on board these ships.
On most cruises, there's an 80s rock and glow party, a white night, and an elegant evening.
These are all in addition to the typical sail-away parties and other events throughout the cruise. Arguably, the cruise director role on Carnival is more central to the experience. And on Carnival Adventure, cruise director Michelle could be seen around the ship leading the fun wherever she was. Elsewhere, the Fun Squad, as they're now known, lead events like bingo, trivia, and karaoke. At night, there was live music around the ship, multiple stand-up comedy acts at the Punchliner Comedy Club, as well as production shows. Blanc de Blanc is a specialty show that debuted with P&O and continues today. The cost starts at $30 per person, and this can be booked online or on board. There's a big casino focus on board, much more than I ever recall with P&O. The Carnival Players Club seems to be a big attraction for those who enjoy a bet and are looking to secure some future casino cruise offers. P&O's Edge facilities continue with rock climbing, zip lining and other features, all attracting a surcharge, but adding to the available activities to occupy a day on board. These can also be booked ahead of your cruise online or once on board. I'm not really sold on this cruise experience. It seems like a strange hybrid between P&O of old and Carnival, and I don't really know exactly who it's for. If you believe the PR spin that it's supposedly a win for Aussie cruises, I always doubt that type of thing, and in practice, I'm not exactly sure that that is the truth.
I think the real win here is actually for Carnival. There really isn't much of a benefit for everyone else that's coming on that booked it as a P&O cruise thinking they were going to get the other Carnival experience. There's too many add-ons. I want chicken on my salad. It's $5 or whatever the cost is. Now, I'm always getting additions. I'm always going to the specialty restaurants. It's too much. There's no value in me coming on here than going on the other cruise lines where I have XYZ included and I get off the ship without a bill. I feel like I'm not getting the proper Carnival experience that I should be getting. How long are they going to use this excuse to pull the people on board, giving them, hey, this is a Carnival experience, but we're going to still do what P&O did, and you got rid of the brand that everyone loved so much.
And the reality is that Carnival says 15% of its cruises in this market are from North America, and they want that number to grow. What does that look like? How does an American book this cruise experience having enjoyed or experienced the proper Carnival cruise experience, coming on here and then realizing that so many things are not the way that it's done on the other ships? And so I can't help but think the biggest reason that this is the case on board is to benefit Carnival and their bottom line. And I think it's done under the guise of this protecting P&O's legacy. P&O is gone. This ship is not representative of P&O. It's not representative of Carnival. It's sitting somewhere in the middle. And I just don't know what the point of that is at this stage anymore. I think we've spoken to a lot of people on board as well. Everyone's ready for this to become Carnival. It's done. Make it Carnival proper. Adventure and Encounter are two ships in transition, and unfortunately it really feels like that on board. I also got the sense based on our interactions with many crew that they're just not as happy. Enough has changed, at least on the surface, to make it obvious that this is no longer a P&O ship. Yet Carnival has decided to keep arguably the worst part of P&O Australia alive in the form of extra onboard charges. Carnival made it clear that it wanted to keep the spirit of P&O with these ships, but in reality they've not done that. Entertainment, events, and drink menus are now Carnival driven, but where it could actually benefit you, cruisers, Carnival has chosen to keep things as they were, and in some cases, make them worse. While there may be contracts at play, particularly with New Zealand Ice Cream and Luke's Burger Bar, the decision to charge for pizza outside of certain hours, or charge extra for sides or added proteins to otherwise included meals just looks terrible. Especially in light of Carnival's greater economies of scale and corporate efficiencies, which all serve to save the cruise line money and was reportedly the driving force behind P&O Australia's demise. There is promise here, but Carnival needs to go all in. Well, that's it for this cruise review. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you enjoyed the inclusion of Michael again. A lot of you commented on my Quantum of the Seas video that you enjoyed seeing him in the video, so here you are, another one. And I hope you enjoyed watching. When it's time to book your next cruise, head to my website first where you can search, compare, and book. And as always, give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram where you can stay up to date with our travels as they happen. Thanks as always for watching.
See ya.
And this is Carnival Adventure, and she might look a little bit familiar.
It's because she is. We've cruised on her a few times. Sorry, start again. Because she is. We've cruised on her many times before, most recently.
See you reading.
Oh, okay, well.
Just
let me do my bit. Because she is. We've cruised on her many times before, most recently when she was still P&O Pacific Adventure. One more. Most recently when she was still P&O's Pacific Adventure. It's because she is. We've cruised on her many times before, most recently as P&O's Pacific Adventure. Give me 1 second, Adrian. I'm just getting into my zone. But now, since this is a Carnival cruise ship... Oh, that was right. Oh, you're recording? Oh, it's me. Nothing has really changed. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Nothing has really changed. But we already know, based on a couple of other cruises, we're going to be missing out on a few things.
Why are you so happy about it?
I don't know. Because I'm like, you said smile, so I'm like...
I'm Adrian, join me on board Carnival Adventure for a tour of a... Oh, I don't know what this room's called.
Is it a penthouse?
I think it's an extended balcony suite. One of the more premium no. Yeah.
Piper, no!
There were tender bits, and there were a couple of bits that were maybe leather-like, but overall it was... I wasn't hungry.
Probably don't need to be that detailed about the, like, specifics of the...
It was leather-like.
No, you can, like, just, yeah.
You can do that bit again.
No, it was good. We don't want to waffle.
Okay.
I don't remember how we started it there.
Now I want waffles. I'm also sorry that you all didn't get to see me at karaoke because they didn't call me up. I would have been a hoot.
That's because you waited until 10 minutes before dinner time to register, knowing that we weren't going to be there. Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
A hoot.